Hello, photographers. Today we're going to debate off-camera flash, manual versus TTL. Now, if you're not aware, TTL flash is essentially auto mode for your flash. The TTL feature allows the camera and flash to communicate, enabling the camera to control how much light the flash emits for a photo. And off-camera TTL flash just means that the camera and flash can communicate wirelessly, while manual flash is exactly what it sounds like. You manually control the flash output. The only communication between the camera and the flash is when the flash sends the signal to fire. And off-camera manual flash means you can send that firing signal wirelessly. This is the principal difference between the two types of off-camera flash systems. You're either controlling the flash power yourself or you're allowing the camera to do it for you. So which is better? The answer is simple. Manual flash is better. Think about this for a minute. How much time have you spent learning how your camera works and how to shoot in manual mode so that you can ensure that your photos look the way you want them to look? So if we want to control our cameras manually to ensure we get the results we want, then why on earth would you want the camera to choose your flash settings for you? If you want your photos to look exactly the way you want them to look, then you're going to want to have full control over your flash. With off-camera TTL flash, you just do not get that. With TTL, every single time you take a photo, the camera reevaluates the scene and sends new instructions to the flash, setting a new power level for the flash to fire for that photo. So you might be shooting off-camera flash using TTL and everything will be going great, and then something changes. Maybe it's a camera setting, maybe you move the flash a little bit, or maybe your subject moves, and then all of a sudden, for what seems like no reason at all, the flash is way too bright or way too dark because that small change completely changed the camera's reading of the scene. And then you've got to fight with your camera to get your flash back where you want it, but because you were using TTL, you don't actually know where it was in the first place. So now you're just guessing. With off-camera manual flash, there's no chance of this happening because the only time the flash power will change is when you decide to change it, and that consistency is priceless. The other problem with TTL is that the camera and the flash are stupid. The meter inside the camera makes the decisions that set the flash power in TTL, and it does not understand complicated lighting situations. Think of the times you've tried to take a photo of snow and the snow turned out all gray, or you tried to take a photo of someone with light behind them and they were radically underexposed, or the background was super overexposed. If you put your light anywhere other than a standard position right in front of your subject, you run the risk of the camera setting the power of that light way off compared to what you actually want it to be because the camera just doesn't understand what's going on and what you want. Whereas if you're shooting off-camera flash manually, you put the light where you want it, you set the power where you want it because you know what you want the photo to look like and how to make that happen. Those are the key reasons off-camera manual flash beats TTL every single time. Now, you may be thinking, I've shot off-camera TTL flash for years and never had a problem. And if that's the case, that's great. If TTL works for you, keep using it, that's fine. But the one thing I will say is that if you do principally use TTL, you better know how to shoot off-camera manual flash, because if you don't know how to do that, then you're using TTL as a crutch, and when you lose that crutch, you're gonna be in a bad spot. So if manual flash is better than TTL flash, then what is TTL flash good for? It's actually very good for variable situation photography, run and gun type stuff like weddings and events. In situations where things are constantly changing, letting the camera adapt to those changes and set the flash power for those changes can save you a ton of time and help you get the shots that you might miss trying to adjust the power of your flash manually. And this applies whether you're running and gunning with your flash on the camera or off. For just about everything else, off-camera manual flash is the way to go. It'll give you the consistency and the control you need to make your photos look exactly the way you want them to. Outside of that, the differences between off-camera manual and TTL are nearly indistinguishable because once you decide between manual versus TTL, it's just about the off-camera flash system you're using and the capabilities of that system. For example, all of my off-camera flash system used to be a whole bunch of speed lights triggered by Pocket Wizard radio triggers. And this system worked, but it was clunky because I had to set up every single flash. I had to attach a receiver to each flash, and when I wanted to change the power of a flash, I had to physically go over to to that flash to change that power, and the only option I ever had was manual flash. Now, I didn't care because I don't shoot TTL flash, but if I had wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to. Compare that to the Godox X flash system that I now use. I have 3 Godox AD200 lights, and each of these lights has a receiver built right into them. I use the Godox R2 Pro trigger, which allows me to change the power of the flashes right from the trigger, and on top of that, the Godox X system supports TTL and high-speed sync in addition to manual, so I have the option to shoot any way that I want to shoot. So in the end, it's simple. In the question of off-camera flash manual versus TTL, manual always wins. And though manual may win, what's way more important is understanding how flash photography works so that you can shoot off-camera flash, whether you use manual or TTL, to reliably get the results that you want to get. And I've got a whole playlist of videos right here that will help you get going with off-camera flash. So if you have any questions about off-camera flash, whether it's manual or TTL, let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, comment which side of this debate you land on. Are you off-camera manual flash or off-camera TTL? And then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and get out there and take some damn photos.